Today is August 6th, 2025, and this is Read Through the Bible.
And we are back to home, sweet home.
It's good to be home, and we're trying to get back into the swing of things today.
Yeah, I always like sleeping in our own bed.
Yeah.
After we've been out in lots of different places, it's always nice just to be home and settled.
Yeah. But we're thankful for our whole trip. It was wonderful, every bit of it.
And if you've been listening, you've got daily updates about all that we did in California and Tahoe and now in Durango, and now we're at home. So I hope you've enjoyed kind of coming along on our vacation. It was a great vacation for us. And we are reading Joshua. This is the continuation of the story of the people of Israel. Joshua is the one that leads the people into the promised land after the death of Moses. So in chapter 1, we saw God commissioning Joshua commanding the people, and then the spies in chapter 2 come to Rahab and figure out the land of how they're going to conquer Jericho, and then we continue on.
Okay. Chapter 3. Then Joshua rose early in the morning, and they set out from Shittim. And they came to the Jordan, he and all the people of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. At the end of 3 days, the officers went through the camp and commanded the people, "As soon as you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God being carried by the Levitical priests, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Yet there shall be a distance between you and it, about 2,000 cubits in length. Do not come near it, in order that you may know the way you shall go, for you have not passed this way before." Then Joshua said to the people, "Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you." And Joshua said to the priests, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant and pass on before the people." So they took up the Ark of the Covenant and went before the people.
And the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so I will be with you." So how was God?
That goes back to chapter 1.
Yeah.
God promising to be with him.
Yeah, and God was with Moses, speaking to him face to face, gave him the law, commanded him, talked with him, dialogued with him, and that's what Joshua's going to be. And as for you, command the priests who bear the Ark of the Covenant, when you come to the brink of the waters of the Jordan, you shall stand still in the Jordan. And Joshua said to the people of Israel, "Come here and listen to the words of the Lord your God." And Joshua said, "Here is how you shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth is passing over before you into the Jordan. Now therefore take 12 men from the tribes of Israel, from each tribe a man. And when the soles of the feet of the priest bearing the ark of the Lord and the Lord of all the earth shall rest in the waters of the waters of the Jordan shall be cut off from flowing, and the waters coming down from above shall stand in one heap."
I think it's interesting because these people who are going to go into the promised land, it was not them, but it was their parents who saw God part the Red Sea, and now they're going to get to see the waters part as well.
Yeah, and I think that back then it was Moses cast his staff over and the Red Sea stopped. Here it was the 12 representatives stepping into the water and then having the whole river just stop and segregate so they can get 1 million people over from on dry ground.
Wow. Okay, verse 14. So when the people set out from their tents to pass over the Jordan with the priests bearing the Ark of the Covenant before the people, and as soon as those bearing the Ark had come as far as the Jordan, and the feet of the priests bearing the Ark were dipped in the brink of the water. Now, the Jordan overflows all its banks throughout the time of the harvest.
In other words, right, it wasn't just a sprinkle, the river wasn't dried up.
This was a very full, wide river because it's at this
time of the harvest.
The time of the harvest, yep. So anyway, that was a little parentheses there. Verse 16, the waters coming down from above stood up and rose up in a heap very far away at Adam, the city that is beside Zarethan, and those flowing down toward the sea of the Arabah, the Salt Sea, were completely cut off, and the people passed over opposite Jericho. Now the priests bearing the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stood firmly on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all Israel was passing over on dry ground until all the nation finished passing over the Jordan.
Yeah. So a summary here, I just have Israel cross the Jordan with the Ark in the middle.
Yeah.
So the idea is that these men carrying the ark, they walked in and they brought the ark to the middle, and everyone passed by.
Okay, yes.
Yes?
But I think it's interesting because the ark was at the front, which is different than how they traveled in the wilderness, where it was in the middle.
Yep.
So, okay.
And now we have, chapter 4, we have these stone memorials set up. When all the nation had finished passing over the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Take 12 men from the people, each tribe a man, and command them, saying, 'Take 12 stones from here out of the midst of the Jordan, from the very place where the priest's feet stood firmly, and bring them over with you, and lay them down in the place where you lodge tonight.' Then Joshua called the 12 men from the people of Israel, whom he had appointed, a man from each tribe. And Joshua said to them, 'Pass on before the ark of the Lord your God in the midst of the Jordan, and take up each of you a stone upon his shoulder.'" Like, take a big stone.
That's big.
Yeah, "according to the number of the tribes of the people of Israel, that this may be a sign among you. When your children ask in time to come, 'What do these stones mean to you?' Then you shall tell them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. So these stones shall be to the people of Israel a memorial." So here, just opposite of Jericho, right where the river was, there's these 12 stones that they set up.
They came from the middle of the riverbank.
Yeah, but the kids would be like, what's that pile of stones for?
Right.
And they could brag about God, about all that he did to stop up the Jordan so they could cross it on dry ground. This is a lot like the Red Sea.
Yes.
When Israel was saved by the Red Sea.
Verse 8, "And the people of Israel did just as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of the Jordan, according to the number of the tribes of the people of Israel, just as the Lord told Joshua. And they carried them over with them to the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of the Jordan." So this is inside the Jordan River.
So this is like another tower, or another pile that he's doing.
Yeah, "in the place where the feet of the priests bearing the Ark of the Covenant had stood. And they are there to this day."
Although they're underwater.
Right. "For the priests bearing the ark stood in the midst of the Jordan until everything was finished, that the Lord commanded Joshua to tell the people, according to all that Moses had commanded Joshua."
And the people passed over in haste. And when all the people had finished passing over, the ark of the Lord and the priest passed over before the people. The sons of Reuben, the sons of Gad, and the half-tribe Manasseh passed over armed before the people of Israel, as Moses had told them. About 40,000 ready for war passed over before the Lord for battle to the plains of Jericho. On that day the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they stood in awe of him, just as they had stood in awe of Moses all the days of his life. So the fact that Joshua was able to lead these people across the Jordan, which was stopped up, kind of like gave him street cred among all the people.
And God just put favor in the people's hearts, like that, for them to admire him. Like in verse 7 of chapter 3, the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so I will be with you." Okay, so verse 15. "And the Lord said to Joshua, 'Command the priests bearing the ark of the testimony to come up out of the Jordan.' So Joshua commanded the priests, 'Come out of the Jordan,' or 'Come up out of the Jordan.' And when the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of the Lord came up from the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up on dry ground, the waters of the Jordan returned to their place and overflowed all its banks as before."
Yep. Emphasis here upon the soles of the feet, like the very place where they stood. As the soles of the feet entered the Jordan River,
The waters
split.
parted.
And now as the priests walk up and their soles are on dry ground, the water
waters
comes
go
right back.
Yep.
The people came up out of the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and they camped at Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan, Joshua set up at Gilgal. And he said to the people of Israel, "When your children ask their fathers in time to come, 'What do these stones mean?' then you shall let your children know, Israel passed over this Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan for you until you passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea," which is Exodus chapter 12, I do believe, "which he dried up for us until we passed over, so that all the peoples of the earth may know that the hand of the Lord is mighty, that you may fear the Lord your God forever. So there we see the tie into, it's Exodus 14 rather, into the tie of the Red Sea and just God doing this miraculous thing again. So in terms of a summary, I think a good way to summarize this is the two 12-stone memorials. One, Joshua built in the middle, and then the second one was built at Gilgal. And these are stones of remembrance to remember God's mighty act.
Right. And I like verse 24, so that all the peoples of the earth may know that the hand of the Lord is mighty, that you may fear the Lord your God forever.
That would be us. Let us hear these stories.
We are included in that.
And fear the Lord our God forever. Okay. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay, goodbye.